Welcome to Terra at Home with your host, Kris Moretti.
Good morning and welcome to Terra at Home. It's a great time to begin a new gardening project or to add new plants to existing gardens. Early in the summer season, the soil is moist and workable, making it perfect for planting. This season at Terra, you'll find a collection of plants that we call TERRA Essentials. These plants have been carefully chosen to provide you with variety options that are tried, true, and worry-free, so you can rest assured that when your project begins with TERRA Essentials, you're off to a great start. They also represent landscape staples that, when used together, form a balanced garden that will shine in all seasons. Let me explain how. We'll begin with evergreens. In the Essentials collection, you'll find broadleaf evergreens such as boxwood and euonymus, as well as traditional evergreens, the low-growing Japanese garden and Gold Coast junipers, which offer rich color in a compact package, dwarf mugo pine, and everyone's favorite focal point, the dwarf Alberta spruce. Evergreens are truly essential in the landscape. They provide structure, color, and texture throughout the times of the year when everything else disappears. They're also easy to maintain, requiring little care. Good deal. Let's talk about shrubs. We're very lucky in Southern Ontario in that we have hundreds of options to choose from. And when we decide to add shrubs to our landscapes, tall and short, sun-loving or shade-preferred, flowering or not, there's something out there for every taste and every growing condition. TERRA Essential shrubs include varieties you'll see in your favorite gardens, like compact workhorse, the spirea. Spireas are tough and hardy, adapt to adverse conditions, and a flower with wild abandon. In the case of our essential variety, Gold Flame, it even offers brightly colored leaves that, when designing a landscape, can be a great bonus. Planting shrubs with extra ornamental interest is a helpful tool and can boost the appeal of your gardens. Burgundy leaves plants like purple leaf sandterry or Diabolo 9-bark create depth and drama in your outdoor space. They're also easy to use as repetition pieces. Repeat the dark palette through your landscape to help guide the eye through. It's a favorite trick of designers. Finally, there's Annabelle hydrangea, one of my personal favorites. It has long been valued for its Victorian flair with huge white flowers and deep green leaves. It can be used alone, but is stunning when paired together or grouped in a row, and thrives in full sun or partial shade. Of course, no landscape is complete without perennials. Perennials can be intimidating to new gardeners, but they shouldn't be. Used appropriately, perennials return year after year in your landscape and to help create a more mature look and can help to use different functions, fill different functions in your garden spaces. One of the most popular varieties of perennial out there is the Stella d'Oro daylily, which you'll find in the Essentials collection. It's easy to use either by itself or in groups. It repeat blooms throughout the entire season and provides bright yellow color to any landscape. Speaking of flowers, other fantastic choices are those with a very long blooming time. The cone flowers are renowned for this. Rudbeckia and varieties of Echinacea are perfect for this function and flower from midsummer all the way through into fall. They make fabulous cut flowers and are native to our region, which make them ideal for attracting pollinators, helpful birds, bees, and butterflies into the garden. Another part of this category as well are Shasta daisies. Shasta daisies are another part of the Essential collection and are staples in happy, friendly landscapes and remind us of childhood favorites. Perennials bring more value to your garden than just flowers, though. Using great perennials with foliage color can also be a fantastic bonus. Just like shrubs, those perennials that offer additional foliage color can be helpful to provide texture and form in areas, especially those like shade, which don't necessarily inhabit a lot of flowering plants all that happily. Heuchera is a great variety that is part of the collection that provides a deep burgundy color called Palace Purple. Used in conjunction with other leafy favorites like hostas, they look stunning in a shady border. Speaking of hostas, you'll find several varieties in the Essentials collection, and they're definitely staples to have in the shady garden. They provide shape, texture, and color in areas where you don't often find flowers. When planning the perfect garden, thinking about 4 seasons of interest is also important, and you'll find many of those 4-season plants in the TERRA Essentials collection. A perfect example of this is Autumn Joy Sedum. It looks fantastic in the summer garden, but this plant really comes to life in the fall when it forms great big dark pink flower spikes, which are ideal in a fall landscape. Paired with grasses or flowering shrubs like the burning bush or some of the other in our collection such as ninebark look fantastic in the fall garden. Once you've chosen your plants and you're ready to get started and get ready with a landscape project, the Terra Landscape Coach is a great place to start. You can find out more information about landscape coaching at terragreenhouses.com. All armed and ready with a plan. Finally, planting is your final consideration. When you're planting new shrubs or perennials, perfect soil is a great place to begin. Amending soil is always a great idea when you're about to start new plantings. Using soil mixes such as Terra Plus 3 mix or additions of compost will help to boost the nutritional value of your soil as well as increase its water holding capacity. Speaking of water, make sure that all newly planted trees, shrubs, and perennials get watered well for several weeks after planting until they've formed nice new roots that are strong and will help to support the plant throughout the summer months. Finally, using a product such as Quick Start can really help to get your plants off to a great start. It's a Miracle-Gro product that helps to boost those healthy roots and start to get the plants established from the very beginning when you're planting. Begin your landscape project at Terra this season with something from the TERRA Essentials collection, and it's hard to go wrong. Stay tuned for more great tips and more Terra at home.
Come and explore the new Terra, where color lives.
When we first bought the house, the lawn was nothing but brown. So I called my father-in-law. He's really good with the lawn. He knows exactly what to do.
Well, I told him you're Scott's turf builder. He said, well, I got this other stuff, and I told him, take it back to the store. But some brands have filler like sand and gravel, stuff you don't want on your lawn. Scott's turf builder is pure food. Every granule's 100% nutrition. You get what you pay for every time. You see what happens, Tim, when you listen to your father-in-law?
All food, no filler. That's the Scott's advantage.
Welcome back to Terra at Home, where we're now at Copetown Woods, and I'm joined by Rochelle Trask, who's the Food and Beverage Manager here at Copetown. Thanks for being with us, Rochelle.
My pleasure.
It's a beautiful facility you have here with a beautiful golf course, and as we approach the busy season in the summer, there are weddings, there are events, bridal showers, all sorts of things happening. I'd like to talk to you about what makes Copetown a great facility and things that make it a little bit easier maybe for planning such a great event like a wedding.
Absolutely. Here at Copetown Woods, we welcome all sorts of events, weddings certainly being one of them. When you come in to see us here at Copetown Woods, you're going to be taken care of by our own wedding coordinator, and she's going to take you all the way through every step of the planning organization, and we'll take care of all the food, all of the service. The room will be set up absolutely beautiful. We have a wonderful banquet facility. This is actually our back porch, which is available to the wedding guests, and it is a private facility for them.
So with dealing with a personal wedding coordinator, I mean, that takes a lot of the burden off of the planner, being often the bride. What sort of range are we talking about in terms of events? I'm sure you do from small to relatively large. What numbers of people do we accommodate?
We can handle events in terms of wedding, is that what you mean?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk weddings.
Weddings,
first.
we can handle up to 200 people in our banquet room, and we've had weddings as small as 70 to 80 people,
okay,
and then all the way up to 200. But weddings aren't the only things that we do here. We also have corporate business meetings, we have bridal showers, we have baby showers, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, lots of business meetings.
So you have all sorts of different sized rooms, different types of facilities for different types of get-togethers.
That's correct.
Let's talk about food. Maybe for let's talk about a wedding since it's a good example. You may have guests with different needs, different wants, different everything, and of course a bride and groom who have different tastes. Are there different packages available? How do you discern what's best for each guest?
We do have customization available for our wedding parties. There's certainly allergies to be considered and certainly particular tastes. We do have a set package of what we do and what we do well, but there is also the ability to custom design weddings based on taste and budget for sure.
And you have a chef on staff, I understand.
We do. We have our own personal chef, yes.
Fantastic. So
Yes.
great food options available for...
Very much so, all the way from vegan to diabetic. Any sort of allergy requirements are covered for sure.
If you are here for a wedding, this certainly presents a fantastic atmosphere for things like photographs and that sort of thing. What sort of things have been done here in terms of photos? I'm sure you can have a lot of fun.
Oh, we do. As a matter of fact, we have our own private little limousine cart that's really fun. It takes the bridal parties out to our set photo opportunities. And we also pick up our guests in the parking lot and bring them to the clubhouse. Everyone loves that.
That's
Everyone
nice.
loves that.
And it's little extras like that that really make a difference when you're planning your perfect event at a unique facility. Little extras like that, I think, go a really long way to impress your guests and to make the day that much more special.
Very much so. They get the cart service right to the front door of the clubhouse.
Fantastic.
They think that's quite fun.
Let's talk not so formal then, maybe not so much weddings, but perhaps a corporate function. If you've got a business and you're looking to do something, you do corporate functions quite well here.
Yes, very much so. We have many opportunities actually and options. We have a private executive boardroom that handles up to 12 people. And then our banquet room is able to be divided into different sized rooms. So it could be a large retreat or it could be a smaller boardroom function in there as well.
Fantastic. And how about using the golf facilities themselves? I imagine for corporate events, maybe golf is on the agenda for many people too.
Often it is part of the day. It's also a nice way to end the business day. Oftentimes it's a little bit hard for these business participants to concentrate because they have this beautiful view out the window, but afterwards they get the reward of coming out for a round of golf.
So it could be quite a simple thing in order to sort of do a bit of a team building exercise or anything like that, to plan a day of golf and then either finish with the golf or finish with perhaps a nice meal or some drinks on the patio.
Very much.
Can you coordinate with that sort of thing as well?
Very much so. Everything is designed to meet the needs of the particular party, so we just work very, very closely with the organization to make sure that they are getting the day that they want here at Copetown Woods.
So let's talk about maybe some smaller events. Things you mentioned, bar and bat mitzvahs, showers, that sort of thing. What are the main considerations for planning small events like that? What should planners be thinking about to make sure those days go off without a hitch?
Sure, they want to look at the type of function that they're looking at. Do they want a formal sit-down affair? Do they want more of a cocktail reception? Do they want a luncheon? Do they want an evening affair? What sort of a day are they planning for their guests? Whether it's going to be catered right from the start or it's a little bit more casual, moving from the inside to the outside porch. All the functions are available, and also the front porch is available too with our lovely rocking chairs.
Fantastic. You've been doing this for a while, I imagine.
Yes, I have.
You're the experts. What would you say makes an event at Copetown special? What makes it great? What makes this a particularly good facility?
I think that it's all about meeting and exceeding the organization's expectations. We want them to come in and know that as soon as they walk in the door, everything is taken care of from start to finish. From the time their guests walk in the door to the time they say goodnight, they have nothing to worry about. Everything is taken care of for them.
And what can the organizer do from their perspective when planning an event? You take care of a lot of small details here, including food, all of that sort of thing. Perhaps maybe for someone who's looking at organizing an event, either small like a corporate function or big like a wedding, what are some of the main considerations that they should take into account before beginning the planning process to make it that much easier for you and for the whole planning process in general?
They would need to know, first of all, how many guests they're expecting, and then we know where to best accommodate them in the facility and how the flow of the event will go. For example, with a a business meeting and it's a retreat, they may have a main business area and then they need breakout areas. So we need to sit down and just have an idea of the way that the event should flow from start to finish. And then that way we can best meet their needs.
That's a good point. Thinking about sort of the end result first.
That's
and planning
right, and
accordingly.
then plan back from there, exactly. The kind of day and what time they want to finish, and are they going to include that game of golf, and what sort of food they are looking for, whether it is a sit-down affair or more of a casual affair. We can do barbecues out on the patio. It just absolutely depends on the type of function that they're looking for.
I'm sure weather plays an important part in planning things like this, especially with such a beautiful outdoor venue available. Definitely it's nice when the sun is shining and the weather's on your side.
Yes.
But in events where things maybe don't turn out quite the way you think, you can always, it's a good idea to have sort of a backup
There is a
plan.
contingency plan, exactly. And with weddings in particular, we can accommodate them inside, although there would be a size restriction for that. So those are all questions that we need to ask when the potential bride and groom come in. What sort of, are they having the ceremony here or is it off-site? And then it's like the vision of what they want to see their day to look like, and then we take it back in the planning process to help them get to that point.
Rochelle, thank you so much for your input.
You're very welcome.
And for
Thank
hosting
you.
us for our wonderful day. I believe we'll come back shortly and talk about some Father's Day gear. I think that's in our near future.
Absolutely, we have it all in the pro shop.
Thanks again for having us.
You're very welcome.
Join us after the break for more Terra at Home.
Come and explore the new Terra, where color lives.
AM 900 CHML is giving you more news when you want it most. Non-stop news weekday mornings 5 till 9, weekday afternoons 3 to 6, with weather and traffic on the 9s. Hear about it first from AM 900 CHML, Hamilton's news talk leader.
Welcome back to Terra at Home, where we're now back in the kitchen with Chef Rachel.
Hi,
Great
Kris.
to see you, Rachel.
You too?
Rach, no matter what time of year, no matter what season, it's always nice to have a treat around for your morning coffee, and that's exactly what we're creating here today.
Yes, I agree with you. This is a cinnamon coffee cake that we're going to do today.
Sounds great.
We're going to add some espresso grinds in there too, so it sticks with that coffee theme. You're going to help me out here.
I know, I'm
Okay.
nervous.
You're going to be my mixer today. So we're going to start off with some room temperature butter.
Okay.
Okay. And if you could just give that a
So
quick go.
beware at home, everyone. I'm not a mixer. All right, so we're starting on like a nice low speed for our butter.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm broken.
Is it in there?
There we go.
Okay. You just want to get the butter nice and soft. Okay. And it definitely helps if it's at room temperature. So now we're going to add in the sugar.
Okay.
So 1.25 cups of sugar. We're going to mix that together.
That's just regular
Okay.
white sugar?
Yes. You could probably put it up a little bit higher. Because the butter's soft, you know, it'll get stuck inside the
As we're seeing.
mixer. Yes, okay, but that's okay. Great. I'm going to add the rest of the sugar in there. Perfect. So you just want that to be nice and light and fluffy and mixed well, okay?
Okay.
Next we have 4 eggs. I always find it easiest if you measure out all your ingredients beforehand. You know, you have all the right tools. Baking's pretty precise, so you want to make sure that everything is exact here when you're baking. So makes it easy if everything's already ready for you. So we have 4 eggs here, 1 at a time. I'm going to add them in, okay? And you just want to make sure that they get well mixed in there. You can probably even turn it up a little bit higher. Speed it up a bit. Perfect.
Yeah, we're going.
Great. This is looking good already. Second egg. And while you're doing that, I have a couple cups of flour here. And to the flour, we're going to add some baking powder, baking soda. Need my spoon to get this out. And some salt. Just a pinch of salt.
And you brought up a really good point, Rachel. Unlike, we do a lot of ad-libbing in the kitchen a lot of the time where we sort of, you know, a pinch of this and a dash of that, but when it comes to baking, precise is kind of the name of the game to get the results you want. So you want to be careful with your measurements.
Exactly. That's exactly right. All right. Great. So that's wonderful. You can probably turn that off for now. Perfect. You're doing a great job.
Haha.
So we'll move this to the side just to get it out of my way. Okay, and now we're going to alternate between this flour mixture, and we also have a cup and a half of sour cream.
I like that. I love the richness that sour cream adds to a baked treat, and I think it's going to be so delicious in here.
It will. Okay, so the other thing you want to remember when you're baking is to always, you know, have a spatula, always be scraping down the sides of your bowl.
Okay.
Okay, to make sure that everything is well mixed in there. So that's fine for now.
Okay.
Get the mixer going again, and we'll add half of this flour mixture.
Now, is it a good trick to do this a little bit at a time when you're incorporating wet and dry ingredients?
Yes. Yep, because you want to make sure that everything gets evenly mixed in, okay?
Okay.
So, as you're going with that, I'll add some of the sour cream here. There's no certain time amount that you have to wait. Just, you know, just alternate it a little bit at a time.
Just sort of back and forth?
Yeah, exactly. Put a little bit more of that in.
Wow, that gets really thick.
It does. Now, it is normal for this batter to be a little on the thick side.
Okay.
When we put it into the pan, it's not going to pour nicely.
Okay.
We're going to have to scoop it in there and smooth it out with our spatula. I'm going to add the rest of the flour now. You're doing a great job. Now, I prepared my bundt pan with some cooking spray. I prefer to use cooking spray because it never fails me. If you don't want to use that, you can definitely use some oil or butter. Just make sure that you get enough in there because there's nothing worse than taking a cake out of the oven and not being able to get it out of your pan.
That's for sure.
Okay, so let's add the rest of the sour cream, and then the batter is pretty much ready to go. Oops.
Wow, I can't believe how thick this is, but it's looking good.
Yeah. It's exactly the way that you want it.
This reminds me of helping Mom in the kitchen when I was little.
Okay, get all that sour cream in there. Get a little on the counter, but that's okay. All right.
Fantastic.
That's great. Now you can probably stop that at any time and, you know, just give it a go with the spatula here and make sure that everything is incorporated nicely, okay?
And it looks smooth and well combined, so we're good.
So I'm gonna get you to start putting a little bit in the pan. Now, probably about half that mixture or so.
Okay.
Just kind of scoop it into the pan and smooth it out with the spatula.
Okay.
And you're gonna kind of pave the way for me to put in my filling here.
And this is sort of the hallmark of a coffee cake, where you've got this beautiful crumble mixture that's incorporated into it, and that's sort of what makes a coffee cake a coffee cake.
Yes. So we have a couple tablespoons of flour here, some brown sugar, tightly packed brown sugar, cinnamon, and of course our espresso. And we're going to mix that all together with a couple tablespoons of butter. And now this is where you get your hands dirty. It really helps to get your hands in here with the room temperature butter to make the filling consistency that you want. You want it to be a crumbly consistency, right?
Right.
So what we're going to do is you've smoothed that out nicely.
Does that work? Is that what we're going for there?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
So that's nice and smooth. I'm going to finish off this crumble, and we're going to put half of this mixture on top here. So we're going to sprinkle it around like that. We're going to put the rest of the batter on top, smooth it out again, and finish it off with the other half of this crumble mixture.
Fantastic.
Then it goes in the oven for about 40 to 45 minutes at 350. And we'll have a wonderful coffee cake.
Sounds good. I can't wait. Join us after the break to see the finished product.
Come and explore the new Terra, where color lives.
When we first bought the house, the lawn was nothing but brown. So I called my father-in-law. He's really good with the lawn. He knows exactly what to do.
Well, I told him, you're Scott's turf builder. He said, well, I got this other stuff, and I told him, take it back to the store. But some brands have filler, like sand and gravel, stuff you don't want on your lawn. Scott's turf builder is pure food. Every granule's 100% nutrition. You get what you pay for every time. You see what happens, Tim, when you listen to your father-in-law?
All food, no filler. That's the Scott's advantage.
Come join our colorful team at Terra, where color lives.
Welcome back to Terra at Home, where Chef Rachel has prepared a delicious treat to go with our coffee. It looks fantastic. It smells amazing. Why don't you tell everyone at home how you finished this off?
Okay, so when we went to break, we had you putting half the batter in the pan.
Yeah.
So we sprinkled the crumble mixture inside there, put the rest of the batter on, put the rest of the crumble mixture on top, and this is what we've come out with. Now, when it comes out of the oven, I generally like to let it cool for a couple minutes.
Okay.
And then my way of doing this, because the crumble is on the top of the cake, I like to serve it like that.
Right.
Where normally you would take a bundt cake out of the pan, and if you just had a regular angel food cake or whatnot, that might work well. But because of this delicious crumble that's on top, I like to show it like that. So I actually use some dinner plates, like this one here, to get it out. So first I'll put a dinner plate on top of the pan, flip it over, and the pan will nicely come out. The cake will just slide out.
Right.
And then I put my plate back on top, flip it over again, and then we have this beautiful presentation.
I like it. It's a little more rustic than perhaps the perfectly molded bundt cake, and now we've got, of course, the wonderful crumble on top. I can't wait to try it.
So we'll cut into this and see what it looks like on the inside.
And of course, as always, you can find this and all of Chef Rachel's recipes available at terragreenhouses.com. Oh, it looks great, Rachel.
There we go. So we have that lovely mixture inside there.
Join us next week for more from the Terra at Home kitchen with fresh inspiration for your home and your garden.
Come and explore the new Terra, where color lives.
When we first bought the house, the lawn was nothing but brown. So I called my father-in-law. He's really good with the lawn. He knows exactly what to do.
Well, I told him, you're Scott's turf builder. He said, well, I got this other stuff, and I told him, take it back to the store. But some brands have filler, like sand and gravel, stuff you don't want on your lawn. Scott's turf builder is pure food. Every granule's 100% nutrition. You get what you pay for every time. You see what happens, Tim, when you listen to your father-in-law?
All food, no filler. That's the Scott's advantage.
AM 900 CHML is giving you more news when you want it most. Non-stop news weekday mornings 5 till 9, weekday afternoons 3 to 6, with weather and traffic on the 9s. Hear about it first from AM 900 CHML, Hamilton's news talk leader.